Welcome in, everyone, to the very first edition of Friday Night in the Boot. We're here on the LHSAA Network, live from our studios alongside Spencer Verrett. I'm Garrett Walvard. On tonight's program, we'll bring you scores and highlights from around the state of Louisiana. Spencer, we've been all over the state covering fall camps, jamborees, 7-on-7. That's done with. We're kicking off the season. I know you're excited.
I'm excited. And I tell you what, the weather tonight, it maybe brought down the emotions a little bit, but I tell you what, I love seeing football in the rain. I love playing any kind of sports in the rain. So the fact that tonight we get to kick off the season with an absolute downpour in the southern part of the state, I know it was raining up north as well, I think it's going to make for some exciting games tonight.
We've got some good highlights on tap for you as well, and let's just jump right into it. A couple of teams that played in the Prep Classic last year, Acadiana and Ruston. Matt McCullough back. His teams have played in the Dome 3 times in the last 5 years.
Expectations for both these teams are through the roof this season. You see Acadiana running out. They had such a great scrimmage against Ash, trying to make up for it here, taking on Ruston. Defending state champs, expectations there even higher. You see Jared Ball there. He knows how hungry this team is to get back there. Taking the first quarter, we have Josh Brantley, 18-yard run. He's going to shake off a few tacklers and get pushed out of bounds. Tell you what, he was on one tonight. Brantley's going to take it again. He's going to give it to Jordan Hayes. They call him the Jet, and the Jet's in the end zone to put Ruston up 7-0. An early lead for the Bearcats, what they wanted. Let's check in with Brantley again. Brantley's going to call his own number here and run past every single Ram defender and make his way into the end zone. Ruston's up 14-0. This is exactly the start that Coach Ball would have wanted, and it's exactly the start Josh Brantley would have wanted. And here's Brantley again. He's going to drop back. Like I said, he had an insane first half. He's going to find Ahmad Hudson, who had been out. He's got a cast on his left arm, I think, or his right arm. And he's going to make this touchdown catch, and they go up 35-20 then. We're in the second half now. You'll see Acadiana punch one in. Jonah Goche. That made it 35-27. But it wouldn't be enough for Acadiana. Ruston takes home the win, 35-27. Tell you what, Garrett, we're not going to see Ruston for a few weeks. They're going to Arkansas. They're going to Texas. That's a really impressive win to start the season.
I agree, and that's kind of an interesting look that we see from Ruston playing these teams out of state. But, of course, that's where head coach Jared Ball made his name known back in the day before he came over to Ruston. So a convincing win. Nice way for them and their senior quarterback, Brantley, to start the season. Another game right on tap, Karr at Shaw. Some West Bank action. Bryce Brown and Karr. No stranger to the Prep Classic the last decade, basically. They played for like 8 titles in 12 years. But, again, this is a great measuring stick to start the season between these two teams.
It is, and I tell you what, they actually said during the middle of the week they didn't know if they wanted to play each other, but both were open, and it set up a perfect matchup down there. And we'll check in here and see how that went. Hank
Tierney and Bryce Brown, these guys had a chance. Let's see the highlights as we roll from Karr and Shaw. You know, you want these two teams. We'll begin with Garland Gillen, who can give us an update from the game.
Rimmerero tonight for a rainy powerhouse matchup between the Edna Karr Cougars and the Shaw Eagles. Special teams big early in this one. Karr muffs the punt. Austin Amadio recovers for the Eagles. Few plays later, Mason Wilson to Gavin Richard. Beautiful play call. 39 yards later, he's in the end zone. 7-0 Shaw. Karr responds on the very next drive. Brian Sanchez takes out a few tacklers. He's in from 24 yards out. Extra point, no good. It's 7-6. Karr getting opportunistic on defense. Pass tipped. Hayward Howard intercepts it. Cougars in business. 4th down and long. Cougars going for it. John Johnson with time hits a wide open Cameron Mumford for a 27-yard touchdown. Karr 13-7. Karr, they're right back on the attack. Trey Garrison gashes the Eagles defense. He goes 52 yards, almost gets in there to the 1, just missed the touchdown. Very next play, got to give it to Garrison. He finishes it off. 1-yard touchdown, 19-7 Karr. Shaw fighting back in this one. Wilson again to Richard on a screen. 10-yard touchdown, 19-14. Right before half, Tehran, man-child Francis. Oh yeah, he's in business. 84-yard punt return for a touchdown. Karr gets the 2-point conversion. The LSU commit puts the Cougars up at half, 27-14. third quarter now. More of the same from the Cougars. Johnson finds a wide open Dejon Smith for a 24-yard touchdown. Karr 35-14. Same duo once again. Johnson to Smith, 32 yards. Karr wins big in this one, 48-21.
Look, we had 95, I think, 105 yards in penalties, 3 turnovers. We got work to do. It might look good to the average fan, but we got work to do. Yeah, we got work to do. Yeah, the conditions they weren't favorable for our type of ball, but it showed that we could run the ball and we could play a physical style too.
The Karr Cougars will hit the road next week. They'll play Opelousas. For the West Bank, Garland Gillen, Fox 8, Local First.
Thank you again to Garland Gillen and Fox 8 for the update there from the West Bank. Again, Karr a winner, 48-21. We're just getting started here at the LHSAA Network studios. When we come back, we'll take a look at highlights from the game time game of the week. Southside in Crowley against Notre Dame, and also Catholic at Destrehan. Spencer and I updating scores while we're away. Enjoy the break. We'll be back right after this on Friday Night in the Boot.
Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this.
Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
And we're back Friday night in the boot. Week 1 scores. Spencer Verrett, Garrett Walbert taking you through this. Let's take a look. Pine with a big shutout over St. Thomas Aquinas, 47-0. Marksville with the win, 30-27. Donaldsonville still scoreless against Assumption. Another score, Benton and Northwood Shreveport, 24-21. Northwood with the victory. How about Bonneville getting the shutout over Sophie B. Wright, and West Washita over Richwood, 49-6.
Tell you what, Benton losing to Northwood Shreveport, I know that's a game they really wanted, so I'm sure the Tigers are a little bit hurt after that one. See if they can bounce back in week 2.
More scores from Friday night. We see the scores populating. Washington Marion 20-7 over Abbeville. Rain with a big win over Beauchene, 46-0. Belle Chase shuts out McMain, 55-0. And more scores coming in from around the state.
But I tell you what, whenever we saw that Carr-Shaw game, you saw Bryce Brown after that game. Towel, he was drenched in water, and I tell you what a game and what a win for Karr that is. I know that's how they wanted to start this year. I mean, any team that can start the year with a win, it certainly is nice. We'll
take a look at some other teams kicking off their seasons. The game time game of the week, and that's Southside at Notre Dame. But first, here's an update on Turling's Catholic with the win over reigning state champion Opelousas, 21-14. Spencer, that's a huge victory for them on the road.
That is a huge victory. I know that game got moved around a little bit, but for Turlings to be able to deal with all that and still come out of there with the win against a tough Opelousas squad who really should be playing in the Dome come December really impressive win for the Rebels, and I know that staff is going to be happy campers tonight.
Does not get easier for Turlings. They're going to be 1-0 and then taking on Sam Houston, who should be a very strong team in 2024. And then Karr is up next for Opelousas. Would love to be at that game.
Oh, that's going to be one. That's going to be one you cannot miss. No matter where you are in the state, you need to see that game.
Well, let's head to Crowley, Louisiana. Sugarcane fields all around, and Southside comes in to open up their season on the road against veteran coach Louis Cook and the Pios. Nice crowd action. Of course, the rain coming down all in South Louisiana. Number 20, Jack Meadis takes it to the house, 46 yards, and gives the Pios the early lead in front of the hometown faithful, 7-0. Casanova, that is well known in the Crowley area. How about Jackson Casanova? He'll punch it in and extend the lead for Notre Dame, now 14-0. We had a chance to talk with him in the preseason. Meadis again, he has another long touchdown run here. Gives the Pios the 21-0 advantage. And unfortunately for Southside, they're just looking at the back of the jerseys for Notre Dame for the beginning of this ball game.
Look at the mud pits on the field. I mean, they're covered in mud.
Third quarter action, number 23, Justin Williams gets Southside on the board. Touchdown run. That cuts into Notre Dame's lead, 21-7. But on the ensuing kickoff, Southside gets the turnover. And it's going to end up putting them in really good position. Like you said, the mud, the water, the conditions, making it tough out there. And now Southside's right back in this ball game. They're going to bring it in with a touchdown run by Justin Williams. Now 21-14 your score. In the fourth, Ramon Singleton punches it in, hopefully to give the Sharks the game-tying score. Everybody's pumped up, but here's a closer look. Grant Barra with the extra point attempt goes wide right. And the Pios will hold on to win this game 21-20.
Wow. I mean, the images from that, I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that in week one. I mean, that's the kind of response you want to see, though, from Southside, especially when you go down early to a quality side like Notre Dame. And I'm sure Louis Cook's going to be happy about that one. He might be a little wet, but he'll be happy.
Southside's got to be happy that they came back and made it a tight game. They'll take on Neville next week, and then Notre Dame taking on Ville Platte. Yeah? Should be a great game over there in Acadiana. So 21-20, Notre Dame gets the victory. Our next game up in the docket is Catholic at Destrehan. Two very good programs over the last decade on the road for the Bears. How do you think they fared?
I think talking about state championship perennials, you're talking about these two guys. You see the Destrehan Wildcats running out, and there's Catholic as well. I know this game was the monsoon conditions. We got the quarterback here. He's going to hand the ball off. And we're going to see big tackles there from Destrehan.
You know, Catholic's played in 7 of the last 8 championship games. Coach Hudson Fuller won convincingly in the Dome last year, but they've got to find a replacement for Daniel Beal at quarterback and running back Barry Remo. Destrehan, they haven't lost a regular season home game since 2019. Tough place to win.
It is a tough place. And look at the absolute monsoon conditions, and we're still seeing the ball in the air, which I think is absolutely incredible. The fact that ball's staying in the air like that, and we see a great catch there from number 8. And this game actually had a weather delay at one point. So we'll see what the final score here was.
Coach Marcus Scott for Destrehan pushed the Wildcats to a perfect 10-0 season last fall, and you see the defense standing tall there, trying to force a turnover on downs.
And we know that Catholic's going to be really good on defense this year, but so is Destrehan as well here. And this was actually such a really close game. The final from this one was Catholic 23-20, a late game drive from the Bears gets them the win. And I tell you what, that is a huge win for a Catholic squad that didn't have a lot of returning talent in the skill positions, but they're able to go down to Destrehan, a tough place to win, like you said, and get the W.
Hudson Fuller and the Bears get the first win down there at Destrehan in the regular season since 2019, a 5-year stretch. Pretty impressive by Destrehan. I believe a chance to see some notable scores as we work through our first night of Friday night in the boot. Otherwise, if we need to take a break, we can do that too. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, come back and get everything reloaded for you. More highlights to come. Central at De La Salle, a great matchup last night in New Orleans. We'll show you highlights and more when we return. This is Friday Night in the Boot.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of the Eagle in our
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Buying online is easy, but not when it comes to buying medications. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl. Kids are dying from these fake pills. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. A lethal dose is smaller than a pencil point. Worse yet, medical professionals can't tell the difference between real pills and their counterfeits. Don't take anything that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
We welcome you back in. Our game of the week coming up on the LHSAA network is Bunkie versus St. Louis. That'll be next Thursday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Bunkie coming off a 9-1 regular season and a trip to the playoffs. And St. Louis, with a new coach and Coach Nothnagel, inherits a program that went 8-3 last year. So a lot of talent on display. We already know Bunkie won tonight 39-6 over St. Mary's, so they'll come in with a little bit of juice. Should be a great game over in Calcasieu Parish. We hope you'll join us next Thursday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Spencer, we can update some scores from around the state right about now.
Yep, and I can tell you right now, Sulphur was able to take down St. Louis 14-3. We got some other scores. Ascension Catholic 19-15 over HL Bourgeois. A big night for Chad Elsie, as he's always used to having. We see the Sugarcane Classic down there. Bruley 7-0 over Port Allen. A good way to start the season down there. See Natchitoches Central picking up a win over Brobridge 14-12. Looking at some other ones. Bastrop with a win over Wassman. The Downs brothers transferred to Bastrop from Sterlington, and they make an immediate impact on a program that's heading in the right direction. We see Buckeye taking down Block 35-0, but I tell you that 16-8 scoreline of Bastrop over Wassman is huge. Taking a look at some more here, we have North Vermilion, who took down Church Point 28-6 last night. The start of the Rod Moy era. He was at Abbeville last season, led them to a lot of success. Vanderbilt Catholic starting off the season well, a 28-7 win over Central Lafourche. And Captain Shreve taking down Ouachita Parish 29-7. That's a big win for Captain Shreve and Ouachita Parish. I saw them in the Jamboree, a little bit of a slow start on offense, but they put up some points, just not enough to take down the Gators. Let's head now to Central De La Salle, our LHSAA game of the week last night. A classic matchup. And Garrett, you were there.
Central, they had to overcome adversity. The Wildcats had 3 football players involved in a car wreck the night before the season opener. Coach Semino's team rotated several players under center, finally finding a winning formation. De La Salle is in the maroon jerseys, Central in all white, and both teams struggled to move the ball early on, forced a couple of turnovers. There was a block punt. This is Platt, the backup quarterback for Central, throwing into the flat and moving the chains. They had a couple of nice runs by Marvin Joseph early on. Here's a run by Eamon Williams up the sidelines to move the chains, and a little bit of activity for De La Salle. They would only score a field goal in the first half, and we would go to the break at 3-0. Again, trying to find something that works for both of these teams. Quarterback for De La Salle, Evan Arsenault, the senior, still poised for a breakout season, but the rainy conditions didn't help either of those young men. Rummel will run in the first touchdown for Central, and then the defense has a tip ball. The tip drill ends up into the hands of Blazin Stoken, who's wearing his teammate's jersey in honor of his teammate who was hurt in a car wreck. And then we see the drive in and the touchdown run to put them up 14-3 A victory is soon to be in hand for the Central Wildcats on the road, and a little bit of revenge last year, Spencer, as De La Salle came to the capital city and got the victory to start the year.
Tell you what, Central, a big win, especially an emotionally charged win when you have something like that where you lose 3 very key players. I love the gesture that they were wearing their numbers still out there. And Blazin Stokin, he had a blocked punt earlier in the game as well. He had a really good game. Next week, Central will head to Denham Springs. They'll be hosting Denham Springs. De La Salle will be at Holy Cross, and Holy Cross also lost tonight. So that'll be an interesting. And actually, we have a score on that. E.D. White took down Holy Cross 27-14. So 2 0-1 teams with a lot to prove this season will be going at it. We'll take you through some other scores we have here. St. Thomas More and Karen Crow played out a classic at the Crow Dome. St. Thomas More, I think, was up 21-0. Karen Crow brought it all the way back. Final score there was 21-20. I tell you what, Gavin Peters, that squad, with how young they are, how many guys they had to replace from last year's team, that's an impressive scoreline, but even more impressive for St. Thomas More. You lose that many guys, but you're still able to bring out a state championship quality team. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the Dome come this December. Another scoreline we have, Airline at Barb. This game was a barn burner, I tell you.
14 touchdowns.
52-49 was the final score. And let me just say, you don't need to check your TV screens. 52-49 is what the final score was. These two teams love to put up points. They might allow too many points, but it looked like Airline was able to get the job done tonight. Ben Taylor, I'm sure, had another spectacular night.
But we know that Barb's a talented team, too. They've been, kind of hamstrung the last couple of years with all of the storms in the Lake Charles area. But this senior class, 37 players strong, obviously 7 touchdowns in their opener. They'd like to have gotten the win, but at the same time, I think good things are on tap for Barb.
Yeah, and I can tell you what, that district that they're going to play in against Karen Crow, Acadiana, they've got to be looking at that score thinking, man, this is going to be a tough out at Barb. So let's take you now, we'll take you to a break, and when we come back, we'll have Union North DeSoto and Tioga and Sterlington. Stay with us.
Years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play!
Week 1 high school football is in the books in the state of Louisiana. Welcome back into Friday Night in the Boot. Week 1 scores. We see South Terrebonne with a 24-5 win over Como. Ouachita Christian with the shutout over Caldwell Parish, 42-0. Parkway rolls 42-12 over Carroll. Estruma gets the win 44-0. Sid Edwards, who's running for office, gets the shutout victory in the season opener. Crowley with the 20-6 victory, and a chance to see some other Week 1 scores, I believe, Friday night in the boot, and these scores keep on coming.
Tell you what, Pope John Paul, a 35-7 win over St. Patrick's out of Mississippi. Covenant Christian, a 35-6 win over Thomas Jefferson. Catholic Point Capee, an impressive start to the season, 26-6 over a solid Red River squad. North Iberville taking down Central Private, 36-6. We've got some more scores here on tap for you. We have Hammond and Denham Springs. This was a back-and-forth game.
Yeah.
Denham takes down Hammond, though, 19-14. Centerville takes down Del Cambry, 32-0. Grand Lake takes down East Beauregard, 29-8. South Beauregard over DeRitter, 26-12. Delta Charter, 36-6 over LaSalle. Erath last night taking down Lauraville in a game that was very sloppy from what I heard from the weather. Certainly played a factor in that one.
Got a chance to look at some scores and highlights now. How about North DeSoto and Dennis Dunn, the quarterback whisperer, who's back year 3. He's got a great quarterback in Luke Delafield. Got him to the Dome as a 14-year-old freshman. What's on tap for them in 24?
Tell you what, it's going to be a tough season for them. They open up with the likes of Union, which we'll cut to the highlights now. Union and North DeSoto going head-to-head. The Farmers making the travel over to Shreveport. You see, there he is, Luke Delafield. He's ready to rock this season. I tell you what, he is focused. He knows that state finalist isn't good enough. But Union comes out on fire. Brandon Patterson throws a bomb downfield. He connects with Chase Meeking. When I was in Monroe, these guys were saying Chase Meeking is the guy. But the Griffins have an answer. Luke Delafield launches it to his favorite guy, Cole Corey. Those guys are always together, golfing, doesn't matter. Next play, hands off to Kenny Thomas.
Wow.
Kenny Thomas, he fumbles into the end zone, but it looks like North DeSoto's got it, the scrum, and they do get a touchdown out of that. Delafield then's going to find Chaz Martinez. He takes it to the end zone, and North DeSoto dominating Union 27-7 at half. And the final score for that one is 33-21 North DeSoto over Union. I know Coach Spat won't be too happy with his team, especially while they did lose a lot of guys. They had a really impressive result last week against Calvary, but what a win for Dennis Dunn and North DeSoto, taking down a team that played in the state championship last year.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Thank you again to KTL for highlights from North Louisiana for tonight. We have an update from the Brother Martin at EA game. That one's gone final 23-14. The Crusaders and Mark Bonice get the win by a touchdown. Chance to look at Tioga and Sterlington. Sterlington's going to have a nice season.
They have the expectations are up through the roof as well. I mean, you reached semifinals last year. You're going to be a team that you want to reach that level again. You want to reach even more as we see the Panthers running out. And they're actually starting their season with senior night, according to what I am reading here. So we see the Panthers starting off the night hot. Senior Hagen Herring practically knocked right into the end zone, and he's fired up. And it's senior night, I guess, so might as well get excited about that. He makes it 7-0. It's also Toga night, apparently, or maybe Greek night, based on what I'm seeing there. They're just hyped as we move into the second quarter. Panthers make their way down, a little tush-push action, and we'll see another Panther touchdown. Tioga unable. Look at the Panthers. They're so excited about football season being back. That's just like me earlier. And then the Tioga Indians were not done yet, though. We'll see the Indians run it in. Number 2 gets them on the board, 14-7. A little celebration in there. Tioga would not be celebrating for long, though. The Panthers, another long run here coming. Oh, sorry. Gets tripped up a little bit, but it was simply all Sterlington from here out. The Tioga Indians weren't able to bring them down just like that. They're carrying defenders for an extra couple of yards. I mean, this is what they're going to do when you play against Sterlington. They're going to run the ball down your gut. Your defensive line is going to be tired. The linebackers are going to be tired. And it's just going to be really hard for you to operate from there.
And the guys on the O-line are scrappy. Maybe 6 foot. They're not imposing figures, but they know how to move guys around, create open lanes, and Sterlington takes advantage and wins by 2 scores.
They do. They take it down 28-13 over Tioga. Tioga's got a tough one as well. Next up at Leesville. And we will have a final on that game later in the next segment. But Sterlington's next game at Rayville. You got to think the Sterlington Panthers are in for a really good start to the season.
All right, we're in the middle of the program right now. Friday night in the boot on the LHSAA network. More scores and highlights when Spencer and I return. Enjoy the little bumps as we go to break. A little taste and color of Louisiana Friday night football in the boot.
Love did this. This is love's fault. and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Back Friday night in the boot. Let's take a look. We'll start with our Game of the Week promo for next week. Bunkie taking on St. Louis in Lake Charles. Should be a great one. Bunkie captures a win this week. St. Louis falls to Sulphur. It'll be Thursday, September 12th at 7 p.m. I tell you, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to see Dylan Compton play. I'm excited to see what St. Louis can do and how they can bounce back from a loss. You can watch it on the LHSAA network, or you can watch it on YouTube as well. Let's take you to some scores from around the state. Don't have any updated here on this one. We can head to the next one.
I'll just give you some updates from around the state. Some scores: E.D. White and Holy Cross, 27-14. E.D. White with the win. Ponchatoula and Walker, 14-43. Looks like Walker with the huge win over the Green Wave.
They've got a lot of excitement building out there in Livingston Parish. I can tell you what, that team's hungry. They've got a nice, I think he's a freshman running back who wears number 94, and he'll tear down a defense. Another score for you: Haynesville takes down North Webster 35-7. Haynesville, another team that wants to see themselves in the Dome come December. Division IV non-select seems wide open, especially with Oak Grove moving up.
David Franklin, great coach. Obviously a great bloodline up there at Haynesville. They've missed the Dome in the last year or two, trying to get back.
Yep, and you got another one as well. Vermilion Catholic takes down Catholic of New Iberia. Jonathan Dartez, they call him John actually. He's looking for a really big season and to get his team to a place where they haven't been in, I think, now 2 years. And I don't know if they've ever won a state title down there. I'd have to check that, but I know they're hungry to win one. Let's take a look at Mangham and Jena. Two small, well, I guess Jena's sort of a middle-sized school, but these two teams were excited about this season. Jay Rourke and the Jena Giants hoping to start their season taking down Mangham, but it's Mangham. Fourth down for the Dragons. Colby Casey stopped on fourth down by Zoil Gaymar for the turnover on down. Jena took just 3 plays to cash in. This guy right here, Cedric Wilson, remember the name. Makes a couple defenders miss. He's gone, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Jena. For the first touchdown of the game, it was 6-0. They missed the extra points. They went for 2, got the extra point. Now 8-6, they go to passing game. Deuce McPherson to Adrian Sharp, up for the touchdown. Giants retake the lead. Mangham had an 8-6 lead, but now Jena's back on front. Final minute of the half, Mangham going in for the lead. A game-swinging interception in the end zone by Xavier Brown halts the drive. Look at that, he's pumped up. Jena went the length of the field in under a minute. Final play of the half, Wilson runs in for his second touchdown. Cedric Wilson and Daniel Hackett, remember those two names right now, because these Jena Giants, they are ready to make some noise. As you see there, Hackett, he's going to bust through defenders, gets taken down, but he is always willing to take that contact. And we will see here what the final score was. 26-22, Jena takes down Mangham. Mangham, another one of those teams in Division IV non-select that thinks with everything that's kind of moved around this year, this is their year to make the Dome. They don't start the season the best way, but I think Jena is a team that is ready to make that run to the Dome. They've been knocking on the door the last few years, made the semifinals last year, and it's a big win for Coach Day Rourke and his squad.
Another game we were going to have a look at was St. Charles Catholic and Newman, and we know that Newman came away with the win 17-3. A couple of opportunities for Newman. They answer back. Eli Friend gets one to Collier Villery, first touchdown in the ballgame, but they come away with the victory 17-3, so impressive for Newman to get that win to start things off.
And it's the first time Newman's beaten St. Charles Catholic in a few years, so that's a really big win. I know that Newman squad has a lot of impressive things going on with it, and they really want to cash in this year. Another score we got for you, Leesville, Sam Houston, another barn burner game. These Lake Charles teams have incredible games. Final score was Sam Houston 56, Leesville 41. And if I'm reading this correctly, Xavier Ford, 311 yards, 6 touchdowns. Drew Bailey for Sam Houston, 310 yards, 6 touchdowns as well. When you talk about a game that you don't believe, those two stat lines right there, video game numbers from those two, I'm going to be excited to see some highlights from that game here. We won't have them for you tonight, but we might have them here later this week.
How about Xavier Ford? I mean, one of the best running backs to the state, if not the best.
I mean, you got to put him up there in that conversation for sure. This year's class is stacked with running backs, and I just think it's insane not to have him in that conversation. I know a lot of the guys in New Orleans and Baton Rouge get that talk, but we need to take a look at Xavier Ford out in Leesville because this kid is a dog. We'll head now to break. We'll have you back here, and we'll have some highlights from New Orleans as well as from Santa Maria and Bird.
We're not changing what it takes to be a cop. That crap proof. It is proof.
Buying online is easy, but not when it comes to buying medications. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl. Kids are dying from these fake pills. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. A lethal dose is smaller than a pencil point. Worse yet, medical professionals can't tell the difference between real pills and their counterfeits. Don't take anything that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Friday Night in the Boot rolls on here. Garrett Walbert, Spencer Verrett with you. Thank you for joining us for the very first edition of this program, live from the LHSAA Network Studios. Spencer, hot off the press, we've got some updated scores.
We do. Thibodaux takes down South Lafourche 49-6. A lot of talent on that Tigers team, and I've been hearing a little bit of chatter about how they possibly could have a big season this year. Another one of those teams in Division IV non-select. I'll be keeping my eye on that division all season. Homer falls to Houghton 38-48. The Bucks able to pick up an impressive win there. Another one here for you. Holy Savior Menard, 34-6 winners over Northwood Lena. Jennings falls to Iowa 22-38 last night. That game was played on Sam Houston's turf because of the weather conditions, and it certainly maybe helped Iowa a little bit. Another one for you as well. Winfield takes down Jonesboro Hodge 27-0.
Whoa.
And then JFK, who will be featured in our Week 3 game of the week, picks up an opening night win 37-20 over Scotlandville, which is interesting because that game early on, I think at halftime, the score might have only been like 12-6 or something. So JFK really turned it up in the second half.
They've got a tough district. They're there with De La Salle, Booker T. Washington, Sophie B. Wright. There's some good teams down in that New Orleans area.
And last one for you, Jesuit playing against Jesuit, playing the team from Dallas. The team from Dallas gets the win 28-20 over our Louisiana Jesuit. Let's head now to the pit at Santa Maria for Bird and Santa Maria. Garrett, take it away.
Little activity in the Baton Rouge area with the rain falling on a Friday night, welcoming in the Yellow Jackets from Shreveport, and there are the Santa Maria Gators looking imposing as they take the field here in the capital city. Get things going first off with the rain still falling. Loose ball, Bird comes away with the first quarter fumble, and our intrepid cameraman got us some great highlights with the rain coming down here. We'll see what they try and do to capitalize off this. About a 35-yard field goal attempt by Santa Maria later in the first quarter finishes wide right and just a little bit short. And now Bird, through the rain, will go through a couple of tackles here. Look at all the fans that are taking the time.
Tears his helmet off as well, man.
Tough environment out there at the pit. Here's a interception in the end zone. Santa Maria drove down the field, but Bird thwarts them with the defensive back, getting his mitts on that one. Another long run around the end for Bird's halfback, and he will streak all the way to the end zone. First touchdown of the ball game belongs to the Bird Yellow Jackets.
I tell you what, you mentioned it earlier, but I saw the fans in the background. Look at that. Look at the student section. They're fired up, even with the rain. They're not gonna let the rain bring it down. The final score for that one was 26-10 Bird, a really impressive win, coming down from Shreveport and picking up that win. Let's head now to the Superdome. I know you wait till December to play in the Dome, but with the rain and stuff tonight, the Shrine on Airline, the doubleheader between Rummel and LCA, as well as John Curtis and Rabun Gap, had to be moved. We'll see Rummel here with the ball early in the second quarter. Norma Taylor takes the pitch and runs for a 10-yard touchdown, makes it 7-0. Both these schools, plenty of expectations heading into this year. LCA loses Warwick Dunn finalist Jawan Johnson. Let's see what else we can do here. Corian Hawkins takes the handoff in another big gain. It sets up another Raiders score. Rummel seeming to run all over Lafayette Christian. Goal line, Hawkins punches it in. It's 13-0 after the missed PAT. We'll see here. Well, actually, it looks like there's a little bit of a scrum up there, but we'll see. Lafayette Christian, Braylon Walker, the quarterback, is going to drop back to pass. Scrambles a little bit. He's running around, looking downfield. Who's he got? He finds Braden Allen, who makes a nice cuts to the outside, gets a pretty good gain there. Seconds left in the half now. We'll see Walker call his own number. And I've heard a lot about Walker, how he's like another Jawan Johnson, maybe even better. It's a big name to live up to. But we'll see him hurdle a defender almost and get into the end zone for the touchdown. The final score from this game was Rummel 42, LCA 35. So plenty of points in that second half because it was only 13-7 Rummel at halftime. What a win, though, for Rummel.
It's great that they can get those two games in the Superdome. If you bought a ticket, you could see a doubleheader in the Dome for $15. That's probably
that's a good deal. That might be the best deal in the state tonight. We'll take you back to the Superdome now. We had John Curtis taking on a team from Georgia, North Carolina. It's been listed as both, but it's right there on the border. Garrett?
Rabun Gap is in the Superdome taking on the vaunted John Curtis Patriots. Nice start to the game for JT Curtis's bunch. Just an opportunity for them really to make their names known against a team that's from outside the state, and they get on the board first and early. That split back veer pays dividends open in the middle of the field, and they will take it in. But Rabun Gap's going to answer here. Another talented running back for them. They come in not afraid of that attack by John Curtis's group, and they will find their way into the end zone and clear the game up. Not a lot of fans in the stands. It was moved just about 24 hours for anybody to try and get advance notice. It wasn't there for them. These two teams knotted up now at 14 apiece, and Rabun Gap is going to end up putting a couple of extra points on the board against Curtis. They'll end up getting the win 27-13, so John Curtis will lose their season opener in the Superdome. A game, again, that was going to be played at their place, the Shrine on Airline, but the rainy conditions for the last 3 days in South Louisiana made that impossible.
I tell you what, this running back for Rabun Gap, he's a really good player. I was looking up to figure out who they exactly were because they're from out of state. They're ranked really highly in North Carolina's rankings. But they're based in Georgia. Technically, the city of Rabun Gap is in Georgia. But I tell you what, JT Curtis, he won't be happy about one thing: turnovers. I think I heard they had almost 6 fumbles on the night. Maybe that, or I at least heard 3. 3 fumbles on the night. A John Curtis team that's going to run that veer. You can't lose the ball like that, and especially against a team like that from North Carolina that's ranked very highly up there.
Especially perfect conditions when you're in the air conditioning.
I know. And maybe out on the Shrine Airline with that weather condition, it would have been a little tough. But let's take you to a Thursday night game now. We have Chalmette taking on John Ehret. Both these squads playing in New Orleans on Thursday, just taking on the weather. And we got some trickery on Chalmette's second drive. Breeze Wilson hits a U-turn and hooks up with Jaden Williams. Plenty of yards after catch down that far sideline. First down, Fighting Owls. Looking to punch it in 4 plays later, but that ball is live, and McKinney Williams is like, hey, look what I found. Let me get that ball, please. But on the very next play, Chalmette sends the house, and Michael Henry wants no part of it. Intentional grounding in the end zone, that's a safety. 2-0 Owls. Can we win the game there? That's a great scoreline. Suing safety punt, Lee Everidge, all gas, no brakes. He's not even touched until he's finally forced out at the 2-yard line. Next play, Teray Derensburg, right side, easy money. First touchdown of the season for the Owls, makes it 9-0. Later in the first, a familiar connection. This time it's a 9 route, Wilson to Williams, dropping dimes for the tutty. And this thing is all Chalmette, 16-0. Late in the half now, Derensburg testing out the other end zone. We'll see here. We'll see Derensburg. He's going to test out the other end zone. He's going to bounce out to the outside, and he's going to get in for 6 as well. 23-zip heading into the half. I think Chalmette led by as much as 30-0, but the final score for this one, Chalmette wins 30-0 over John Ehret. A really good start to the season for the Owls, and I know there's a lot of hype around that area.
You know, it's great. You know, a lot of rain falling here. They've got the field turf over at Haas-Memphis Stadium. Looks like a great night for offense. And again, Chalmette got out to the big lead, but credit John Ehret for battling back.
And yes, that is one thing that I know John Ehret would have liked to come out firing, but if you get blanked in the first half, you surely can't be upset that in the second half you brought it in with a 10-point game. Look at the stiff arm, though, there from number 21. We'll see another run on the outside. Just hard tackling all night, and you love to see that in the rain. Because I think last year, one of the best moments I saw was in that semifinal night, and that's what tonight reminded me a lot of. That semifinal where the rain was pouring and everyone was having a miserable time, but at the same time as the semifinal, people were booking their spots at the Dome. I remember Cecilia did a little slide into like a puddled area. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of that tonight.
Zachary Dutchtown, Catholic, and Rummel. Just some great games last year in the semifinals that got delayed and then finished the next day. The weather couldn't hold them down.
It couldn't, and it wasn't going to hold us down tonight. When we come back, we'll have some highlights from Neville, Evangel, Huntington, West Monroe, and Parkview, Dunham. Stay with us.
St. Paul's.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
Welcome back to Friday Night in the Boot. We got some more scores here popping up here for you. Letcher taking down Slidell 28-12. St. Frederick's taking down Loyola Prep 8-6. That game was a mud bowl from the pictures I saw from that one. Southern Lab took down Liberty 34-16. St. Paul's with a big win over Live Oak 48-14. Minden and Mansfield 34-33. Minden gets the win. New Iberia takes down Pineville 34-25. And Zachary with an impressive start to the season, 49-13 or 14 over Plaquemine. St. Martin's also takes down Pearl River 38-34. Another great running back out there at St. Martin's.
I'll tell you what, we saw some other scores tonight that were pretty impressive. Darbone Woods 36-6 over Lincoln Prep, 21-14 Northwest, who has high hopes, over Eunice, and Kentwood 46-28 over East Feliciana. Episcopal a winner under Coach Travis, who's been there now 25 years. St. Ed's gets the win 42-15 over Elton, and Lafayette all over Franklin 34-14.
Tell you what, plenty of great scores across the state. We like to see some of these big numbers. Faraday taking down Vidalia 50-20. I mean, that's an insane score line. Another big one there. Franklin Parish takes down West Jeff 51-0. Grant takes down Montgomery 14-12. And we got Harrison Central from Mississippi taking down George Washington Carver. But we'll take you up north now. We'll head up I-49, I guess it would be, and we'll head up to Shreveport. One of the most hyped games of the week up north. Neville taking on Evangel. Two teams with high expectations this year. Let's see what happens. It's in the first half here. We'll pick it up. And I tell you what, going into this game, the hype was real. Evangel's going to open up here. Peyton Pop Houston's going to scramble for a little bit. He's going to throw downfield, and he's got his receiver on the run as well. I tell you, that is an impressive throw from Pop Houston to Johnny Casey Jr. Evangel took a 7-0 lead. Neville, first possession, Parker Robinson back to pass. He finds Caleb Vaughn over the middle and in the end zone for a touchdown. Tied at 7. This game started off a barn burner. That was in the first 2 minutes. You see Coach Duron there. He would have liked the way his team started on offense, not so much on defense. Then we see Evangel's next possession. Nate Green's going to take it down, and he's going to get popped hard, but first down for the Eagles, and then we're going to see Houston. Another handoff as well to Josh Isaac. He gets into the end zone, 14-7 Evangel. Fans there loving it. Let's head to the second quarter now. Tied at 14, 3rd and long. Parker Robinson, handoff to Jalen Nichols. Tough running. First down inside the 5. Look at that, how they're just pushing them forward. And the next play, it's Tardashi Lemons with the carry. Touchdown Tigers, 21-14 Neville. The question was, could Evangel stop this Neville rushing attack? Right now it's looking like they couldn't. 6 minutes left in the half. Play action. Parker Robinson finds Trenton Dumas over the shoulder catch. Great concentration on the touchdown. Neville led 28-17 at the break. And the final in that one, we had Neville taking down Evangel 42-14, as we see him there get popped a little bit. 42-14, the final in that one. Neville starts the season off well. Evangel, not too much they can really be disappointed about. Neville's going to be a really good football team this year, but that's a good test for Peyton Pop Houston and that squad, and a really big win for the Neville defense, because Pop Houston, last week against West Monroe, unstoppable. But it seems like Neville's defense able to come through there.
Staying in North Louisiana, speaking of West Monroe hosting Huntington to get the season started. We take a look at highlights. Great scene at West Monroe. They're kicking off their season against Huntington, and you can run out of the tunnel with them up there in the Monroe area. They're going to strike early. Nice job by West Monroe with a nice crowd on hand here at the stadium. Defense is something that they've got a calling card with, but the offense tonight just blows Huntington off the ball. Ronaldrick Miles coasts in for an easy score. He'll tack on the 2-point conversion. 8-0 is your score. Two sports star Tyler Roark is going to be tough to slow down this year. Makes the curl, comes off the edge, and then gets in for the score. Unbelievable showing by Roark. Nice job there. West Monroe dominating early play action. Wide receivers open all over the field. Ryder DeJean to Trey Davis for the easy score, now 15-0 in Huntington, looking for answers. Second quarter, they are pinned deep in their own territory. Maddox Dunn charges in for the safety, and it's all West Monroe.
And we'll see here that West Monroe was able to get the win 40-7. A big-time win for the Rebels, just how they wanted to start the season.
Again, another look at Roark making that big play, just kind of backing into the end zone. So for West Monroe, a team that didn't really live up to the expectations that they and the fans have for them last year, they come away with a nice win to start the season in 2024. I think big things are on tap for them, but that is a loaded district up there too.
It is. You have to face the likes of Neville. You have to face the likes of Ruston. I could go on and on. You have to play Alexandria as well. It's going to be tough for West Monroe to be able to establish himself in that district, but I think if anyone can do it, they can do it. A lot of history out there, and I'm sure they would love to be back on top of that district.
You could be a quarterfinalist and probably be 4th overall in the district. Another game on tap for us tonight, Parkview and Dunham. This game's supposed to be over by Chapel at the Oaks. You can hear the band. Nobody's going to hold them down, but it was moved to Parkview because they have a turf field, and both these teams are ready to get the game going. Sophomore quarterback Elijah Haven went to work early. First drive, 46 yards to the house. Parkview has won 5 of the last 6 in this series against Dunham. And the Eagles quarterback Noah Graves is going to get the start. Graves
met hard in the backfield.
Met hard by number 23, Jack Higginbottom. He blows that play up with the sack. Next drive, Haven throws over the middle to Chris Thomas. They hook up for 26 yards. They'll move the chains, and Elijah Haven again. He'll go to the air, back-to-back plays. Jarvis Washington on the post route. Wow, touchdown Dunham, 25 yards, and the Tigers go up 13-0. Parkview won this matchup in the postseason last year, 39-32, but Dunham's defense came to play. Ooh, hit the turf, hit it with authority. Junior safety Trevor Heyman on the blitz here. Haven now first and goal at the 3, the number 1 recruit for 2027, and he has an easy John into the end zone. It's 20-0 still in the first quarter. Dunham has their foot on the gas, and again up 20-0. Haven at the 30. Parkview finally has him wrapped up. Nope, sorry, he gets free. Just an unbelievable display after that 5-yard gain. He gets a first down start. That's in the beginning of the second quarter. Tiger fans are going to have a lot to cheer about this season. Here's a quick hiccup again with Jarvis Washington, 6'5", 180. Needs to put some pounds on him. Somebody get this guy an NIL deal with Subway. He's having another great game, 2 touchdowns to get things going, a 12-yard touchdown catch. And it's 39-0 at the half, ends up being 46-0. Coach Weiner calls the dogs off for the final 2 quarters. That's a great win for them to start.
It is a great win for Dunham. And also tonight, Elijah Haven set some history. He set a Dunham program history. Total passing touchdowns and total touchdowns in general. He has 50 total touchdowns in his career, 38 passing touchdowns in his career. And he's only a sophomore, and he's already at the top of the record books. This kid is incredible. The 2025 class, we talk about how great the running backs are. The 2027 class, we're going to be talking about some quarterbacks because they're all across the state. You got Pop Houston, you got Elijah Haven. I mean, Louisiana is the best place to get recruits from. Why not have the best players here?
Obviously, you saw Elijah Haven. Great things on tap for that young man. Let's take a look at our promo for next week's Game of the Week on the LHSAA Network. Bunkie, the Panthers, taking on the Saints of St. Louis Catholic. That's in Calcasieu Parish. We hope you'll join us on the network Thursday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Should be a fantastic game. Spencer, just final thoughts on the first night.
Oh, man, I mean, what more can you say? What a great week for high school sports, starting off the week right. Week 1's in the books. We'll head to week 2. We'll see if we can get some more action going.
We're glad that you could join us tonight, our first edition of Friday Night in the Boot. It's in the books. Spencer and I will be back next week with more scores, highlights, and maybe even some interviews. It was a great night, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on the LHSAA Network.
Touchdown!